Welcome to the Alabama State Department section on mental health. Our leader, Dr. Erica Butler from the Alabama State Department of Education, can be contacted through the Department of Prevention and Support. Her number is listed at area code 334-694-4717. Today, we like to share with you and have you contemplate some ideas concerning mental health. As we explore these different days in the state of Alabama, we need to all think about how mental health is impacting the students that we serve every day in Alabama schools. Mental health. An estimated 42,000 documented cases of youth suffer from mental illness ages 12 through 17 in Alabama. Over 20% of young people ages 13 through 18 have experienced a serious debilitating mental health disorder. Approximately 25% of young people have experienced some type of anxiety disorder, which includes obsessive compulsive disorder, social anxiety disorder, or panic attacks. Many times we're confused. We will label someone as being mentally ill when sometimes they're only distressed because of different things that have happened in their lives. A good rule of thumb, when we think about mental illness, think about people who have a medical condition that is specifically being diagnosed that affects their mood, their thinking, or their behavior. Such examples are things such as bipolar or schizophrenia conditions. Mental distress is a far-ranging symptoms where people experience certain things that could be brought on because of things such as life situations, bereavement, stress, lack of sleep, use of drugs and alcohol, assault, abuse. All of those things could be categorized as areas of mental distress that anyone could experience at any time. Causes of mental illness during childhood and adolescence can range from drug use, childhood illnesses, genetics, traumatic head injury, adverse reaction to medication, abuse, mental or physical or sexual assault. The World Health Organization defines mental health as physical well-being, mental well-being, as well as social well-being. So how can mental health challenges interfere with the learning process? For example, in our classrooms, sometimes we see problems with our students just processing information as you're bringing it forth in the classroom. Sometimes students are not able to objectively analyze data. Sometimes our students have trouble concentrating. And many times we find that students can become forgetful when they're experiencing some sort of distress. Academic red flags include dropping grades, missed or incomplete assignments, inability or unwillingness to participate in class, writing about violence, death, suicide, or other disturbing subject matters. Behavior red flags. Oftentimes, we will see our students withdraw or become isolated. Unexplained tardiness or absences they can't account for. Disruptive behavior in the classroom. Excessive reassurance. Problems with time management, or avoiding situations that may cause them to have anxiety, such as working in groups or on group assignments. Physical red flags could include unexplained aches and pains, bruises, cuts, burns, scars, weight loss, weight gain, falling asleep in the classroom, significant changes in appearance, signs of alcohol or drug use, looking at those red eyes sometimes, smelling of alcohol, dilated pupils, many signs that would indicate something is going on with our students. At this time, I would like for you to look at these scenarios. In your schools, these two things may play out. In a typical setting, if we were face-to-face, I would ask you to take it with a partner or a group to look at these scenarios. But today, since we're virtual, I will ask you to look at them individually. Look at these scenarios. Think about what problem has been identified. What intervention can you put in place? Why use that intervention? Think about what success would you have by using the intervention that you chose, and why did you choose it? How do young people cope with stress and manage it or avoid their symptoms? Sometimes, again, you see isolation, you see eating disorder. Sometimes our children will do harm to themselves, cutting themselves, cutting their hair, pulling their hair. Sometimes they will become participants in bullying. They will become the bully, or they'll be the target of bullies. And sometimes we would see them doing things excessively, such as sleeping, playing games, eating, anything to avoid reality. How can I help a student who's in mental distress? First thing, as professionals, our job is to talk to the students. Please remember, you are an educator. You are not a mental health professional. So, with our education background, we think about the things we should say and how to approach the students. When you're talking to kids, think about what you're going to say. Rehearse what you're going to say before you say it, even if you just rehearse it in your mind. Think about things like, you seem down, angry, upset, etc. I'm sensing that you're feeling overwhelmed by today's class. Ask in a direct way. Sometimes when people are feeling stressed like you are, they have depression, anxiety, and thoughts of suicide. Do you? Those are simple ways that can lead us into conversations with our students. And sometimes our simplest thing is to ask them if they would like you to contact another mental health professional to get them help. But remember, you are trained as an educator. You are not a mental health professional. How can I help a student in mental distress? The second thing we can do besides talk, we can listen. When you're listening, please remember, your body language tells a whole lot about your listening. Please use a calm voice when speaking. Look at the student, lean in, show them that you're there for them. Things such as, I know you're dealing with a lot. Talk to me. I'm listening. Do you want me to walk you to the counselor's office? Those are all good things to say. But remember, your body language really tells a lot. Please show that your students that you're open and you're willing to listen and support them. How can I help a student in mental distress? Again, number 3 tells us we must practice our conversational skills. Communicate with respect for the students. Listen with empathetic ears. For example, sometimes we hear our kids say, I'm sick and tired of people always telling me what to do. Your response could be something like, so you don't like people ordering you around, or you don't like people telling you what to do. Help students see the difference between where they are and where they want to be. Affirm the positive attempts the students have made so far. And of course, when they're talking to you, restate what they've said to you. Summarize their thoughts. Let them know that you are listening. And this happens through practicing your conversational skills. 4th, build motivation. Use open-ended questions, such as, tell me why you're late to class today. Tell me, why are you so tired today? Use an open-ended question where the students can express to you how they're feeling. Affirm them. In some instances, you may have an opportunity to compliment them. But find a way to summarize and give them feedback through your conversation of what they're going through. Handle resistance. Learn the signs and practice reflective learning instead of putting up resistance of your own. Practice, 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 restating or reframing their statements. Please think about how you're going to say things. If a student says, I don't know why I keep doing this, you can respond, but you are aware of the dangers and keep looking for ways to stop. Ask permission instead of offering advice. Ask expert. Ask if it would be okay to share your ideas with others. Please remember, you are an educator. You are not the mental health professional. So it's very good to offer some permission ideas rather than telling them what they need to do. Strengthen the commitment to change. Discuss a plan. Elicit suggestions from the students for the plan. Make sure they understand it is their choice. They are free to tell you what they like to do or what they want to do. Make sure you talk to them about a plan. Develop a plan. Talk to them about how they can seek help and how likely this help is going to be positive. Ask them how likely it is they're going to follow through with the plan you just made. Because sometimes people may write a plan, but they're not committed to doing it. But give the student an opportunity to dialogue with you and tell you whether or not they're willing to do the things they've written on that piece of paper. These communication techniques take time and practice to master. Your central role is to teach, not diagnose or treat mental illness. Please note the information that was shared today was taken from the National Institute of Mental Health, the National Alliance on Mental Health, Classroom Mental Health, and Federal Department of Mental Health.